Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark with Wear Parts, and joining me today in the Wear Parts studio, we have Eric Derry from our customer care team. And today we're going to talk about something I'm very passionate about. This is one of my favorite products, just because of the quality of it, is our seat openers. Tell us, Eric, why would you buy a Wear Parts seat opener?
Well, why would you not? Because there's lots of reasons. Everything about these takes us right to the top of the industry. But I think the most critical thing is the way that we assemble them, and we make sure that every single one that goes out the door is going to run true and it's going to run flat.
So every blade is tested.
Every single blade is tested right after it's assembled, before it gets put in a box, and just to make sure if it doesn't pass, it's not leaving the building.
Gotcha. So what's the benefit of that?
Well, when you're running especially a V opener, a double disc opener, you want to make sure that you're getting good contact, good consistent contact as those blades are rotating around. If you start having that moving away from each other, you're going to have an inconsistent seed trench. You're not going to get as good a soil to seed contact, and you could even have issues with it, not just even the seed not even getting in there because of that inconsistency.
Gotcha. And sidewall compaction.
Absolutely.
One thing that we found working with some of our agronomists is they go through and they, after it's been seeded, go in and just dig and see what the voids look like. And that's why it's so critical on your seat opener to make sure that it's running true both on your wobble and your lope. And ours are guaranteed true. A couple of other things that this helps with is it reduces the install time for the farmer. It cuts it in sometimes down to a quarter to a third of the time, because they can put those shims on there, true it up, measure, spin the blades, and measure again, and not have to reset. Whereas some of the OEM ones, they just struggle. And actually, go ahead.
Yeah, you're not searching through that box trying to find ones that are going to actually run true, having to put them on, take them back off, having your own. Some people have even built their own little test fixtures just to try to avoid that. But with our blades, you don't have to worry about that because we take care of it before it leaves.
I know there's even dealerships that have a test, and their customers come in there and they test those blades before they buy them, and only the ones that pass are the ones they take. And there's sometimes half of them fail. So this is a peace of mind for the farmer. It's also peace of mind for the dealer. It doesn't have the hassle of all the returns from the farmer, and then to get all these brought back in and shipped back to the OEM. So it's a amazing to run true opener. So just a little bit about the different products. It's a very extensive lineup. We've got them for the case planners. It looks like there's over a dozen different options there. There's also some of them have a solid inner race on the case. Some have a split inner race. Some actually have, that's a case one there, Eric. That's a cast housing on that one.
Okay, you can see this housing right here. This is a solid cast housing. It's not pressed. This is comes out of a mold. We're pouring liquid steel into it, liquid iron, and then so it's always going to be the same. Another thing about all of our housings, not only are they made to exacting specifications, but one of the ways that we make sure they are is that they're machined after right before they put on. When we get them, we make sure that they're going to fit nice and flush. There's not going to be any wobble on there, and they're going to run true.
Correct. So when you say they're machined on the back side of the
Right.
housing, and then they're also machined down through the bearing bores, so that your X and Y axes, so everything's running true. I mean, they're perfect, nearly perfect. So that's a case one there. There's this one's not an assembly, but that's a Deere one. That's an 18-inch.
Right, yeah, this is a John Deere 18-inch drill. This is a good example of our premium blades. You see this, it has this nice colorful sticker on here. This is a trademark of the Neo 200 series from Forged to Know.
That's right.
This is one of our premium blades. So you have these three different zones of heat treat. On the inside, you've got it's made softer. So it's going to be much lower hardness. You're looking at a 48 to 50 Rockwell C. So that's still pretty hard, but it's softer than the rest of it.
It gives that flexibility.
Gives it that flexibility. You're not going to have as much breakout in the middle. Then as you go to the center part here, which will be this orange zone, we increase the hardness 50 to 55 Rockwell C. So that gives you that durability, making sure that blade is going to stay true. It's not going to be warping, and it's going to be a nice solid blade. Then when you get out to the edge, we kick that hardness up even more, 55 to 58 HRC. So that gives you that nice hard edge that's going to last a long time. It's going to stay sharper longer, and keep that wear, keep that blade going much longer than competitors.
That's a good point, Eric. So the harder edge gives you not only longer wear, but it wears sharp.
Right.
It wears sharp. That's really important. I mean, look at the length of that bevel on that blade. Just using the tape here. Don't have a caliper right now, but it's at 1 inch bevel, and the edge itself is very sharp. So that's going to cut through in a no-till application, cut through your stubble and help you on your seed placement. So amazing product there. So bunch of different options for the Case IH, the older style planters, the newer style planters, and then we get down to Great Plains. We stock the 13.5-inch assemblies for there, and then also the 15-inch assembly in that Neo 200 blade. Then we get down into Deere seed openers. You've got the old 53860s on the Maximeters row units, and then you get up into the XP. We actually have several different options for Deere, don't we?
That's where it gets really exciting with our process, the blades that we use, the assembly that we do, the testing that we do. When we get into those XP applications, where it's really critical that seed trench is running true, those blades are running true and straight. It falls perfectly within that. And then within that, we've got different levels even on that too. We've got 3 different types of housings that we can use.
That's right. Yeah, go over those. You've got your HD housing, I think, which is here.
Right. So we have this is the
HD.
This is the HD. Okay, and that's the
XD.
So this is our medium duty right here. This is our HD, which most people would call heavy duty, but in our lineup, it's actually our medium duty. So this is a high quality stamped housing, heavier, much heavier than competitors are. You can just see how thick that lip is, how thick that material is.
That material starts out 5/16 of an inch thick.
That's heavy. That's heavy. So we're starting out with a high quality, true housing. These right here, when that is stamped out, we make sure that this actually is perpendicular to the blade, so that when that bearing goes in, when that bearing slides in, it's running straight in there, and you have much better clearances all the way around this. More consistent. You don't have it's not running at an angle when that's extruded. So when that bearing slides in there, it's going to be sitting in there, and you're going to have the same gap all the way around that.
Exactly, and that's what the machined bore helps with.
Absolutely.
It gives you continuous contact, the whole face of that outer race of the bearing, whereas some of the other housings in the industry, and we're talking leading brands here, some of the other housings, there's not a machine bore, and so that housing is only touching in one short spot around the perimeter of that bearing, so you can see why there's failures and bearings that get loose.
Bearing starts sliding sideways, tipping, it just can cause all kinds of problems.
And this one here is actually the Extreme Duty. It's a cast housing that fits the Deere XP row unit. Again, it's machined both on the race and in the bore, and just, I mean, these even run more true than some of our press flange housing. So we've got 3 amazing options for your Deere XP row unit, all running high quality bearings. We've got some that even run the bearing out of Europe, the FKL bearing, which is nice because that's, again, not coming from Asia and all the instabilities that's around coming out of Asia. I mean, the bearing industry has gone to Asia wholesale. So to find a quality bearing manufacturer in another part of the world it's a home run, really, and very, very, very proud to be a partner with them. Got a couple options for the Kinsey planners, both in the seat openers and the gauge wheels. Landau drills. There's a Landau around here somewhere. Yes, okay.
And here's one. This one, Landau blades here. So again, you see the high quality housing. It's going to be running that very perpendicular, good bearing, solid, high quality bearing, and of course the same exacting assembly procedures on the Landau also.
And then here's a Monosem. Again, that's a little bit thicker housing there on the back side. It's 3/8 of an inch thick. Again, running that Neo 200 blade on it with the harder edge. Sunflower, got some Sunflower options, and your white planners and your precision planning row unit running that 15.8 inch seat opener assembly. Again, very extensive lineup. I literally have 6 pages of seat opener options, and actually at the back of it there's a really little fancy dancy little seat opener chart here to where you can go in and see which particular seat opener fits which particular planner. So that's some research that
some great information there. It's going to give you the model of the planner. It's going to give you the part number that you need. It's going to tell you information about the OEM number that it matches up against, the diameter of the blade, the bearing type, the bearing size, how well that's going to work, and also the thickness of the blade too. So you can really use that as a great reference to match things up. And we'll have a link to that right by this video.
Very good, folks. Well, that wraps up our session on the wear parts seat opener difference. It's a amazing product line that's really exploded over the last few years, and we're so happy to have a manufacturers, suppliers to work with us to create a premium top tier seat opener assembly lineup, full lineup for the North American market. Any questions or comments, or if you want to place an order, or if you just want to talk to this veteran over here next to me, Eric Derry, call us at 1-888-4-BLADES. Thank you very much.